Alright, in these videos we are going to look at a process called completing the square in order to solve quadratic equations. In the long term we're going to be solving quadratic equations that don't factor, so we want to have an option on how to solve the quadratic when it doesn't factor nicely. So in order to get to that point, we need to first look at one more type of factoring, and it's called a perfect square trinomial. Now, a perfect square trinomial is just a special case of something we've already done. So let's use just normal guess and check on this one first. So since there's three terms and there's no common factor, we're going to have two sets of parentheses. And we know the first term times the first term gets you the first term. So since that's x squared, this is going to be x and x. Then we know that the last term times the last term gets you the last term. And in this case it's positive 9, but since the middle sign is negative, we know the signs need to be the same, but they're going to both need to be negative in order to get a negative for a middle term. Okay, now we need factors of 9 that combine together to get you 6, so obviously that would be 3 and 3. Now notice here that both of these factors are identical. That will always happen in a perfect square trinomial. And when we are doing the problems today, we won't write them twice. We'll actually just write the factor once and square it. Okay? So this is a perfect square trinomial. Now, in order for us to be able to identify that this will actually be a perfect square trinomial, a certain condition needs to be met. And that condition would be the following here. The last term, which in this case is positive 9, will equal the square of half the coefficient of the middle term. So if you take this middle term here, and you take half of negative 6, you will get negative 3. So you take half the coefficient of the middle term, and then you square it. So now we're going to take this, and we're going to square it. Okay? And if you square negative 3, you get positive 9. And that's what this last term there should be. So this last term is always half of the middle term squared. If that's true, then this is a perfect square trinomial. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're actually going to create perfect square trinomials. So we're going to go through this process, and we're going to come up with this third term here. So we're going to take this, we're going to take half of that middle term, so half of 18 would be 9. Then you're going to square 9, and that's going to get you 81. And that 81 is what's going to be your last term. Now this should factor into two sets of parentheses, typically. Let's do it by guess and check one more time. So the first term in each has to be x, because the first term times the first term gets you the first term. Then the last term times the last term is going to get you the last term here. And again, these are going to be identical. So since these are both plus, this is both plus. And now factors of 81 that are the same, well, that's 9. Does 9 and 9 also get you 18? It sure does. So this is x plus 9, which we will ultimately be writing as x plus 9 squared. Okay? So those are perfect square trinomials. Okay? And the process that we are going to go through to come up with a third term by the process called completing the square, which actually creates the perfect square trinomial. Now in the section below, we'll be actually applying this to solve quadratics. That'll be in the next video.